I never planned to stay in that town. It looked ordinary, and that was the unsettling part. I rented a small house at the edge of town, number 42. The owner handed me the keys without asking questions. The first night, I woke at 3:17. The door was open, and there was a soft, patient breathing coming from the hall. It wasn't loud. It sounded like it had all the time in the world. I began to dream of something standing at the far end of the hallway. In the morning, I found long, bare footprints pressed into the dust and a journal hidden behind a loose floorboard. I never planned to stay in that town. It looked normal. Quiet streets, identical houses, people who smiled too briefly. I rented a cheap house at number 42. The owner handed me the keys without questions. I didn't notice how his fingers lingered when I took them. The first night, I woke to find my door open. At 3:17 a.m., I heard a low, steady breathing somewhere deeper in the house. It happened again and again. At exactly 3:17, the breathing would start, patient, slow. I began sleeping with the lights on. The dreams followed, me frozen in the hallway, something at the far end. By day, objects shifted, the mirror fogged, the TV turned to static. Neighbors avoided me. One old man finally said, "Don't stay awake at night. It likes that." That night, the breathing was right outside my door. In the morning, I found long, bare footprints in the dust and a journal under a floorboard that described everything. I left before sunset. Years later, I still wake at night. I don't check the time. When everything is still, I hear the same patient breathing inside my own mind. I told myself I would never come back. Curiosity isn't the same as courage. Number 42 sat under the moon like a held breath, porchlight apologizing. The key turned with a resistance I remembered, unlocking memory more than wood. The hallway swallowed the sound of my shoes. It listened before I did. The footprints were still there, precise and too long, as if measured by time. I opened the journal. The handwriting looped the same small confessions like a prayer. At the foot of the bed, I waited. It was there, patient, unmoving. I learned something then. You don't leave it behind. It moves inside you. I thought leaving would end it. I was wrong. Sometimes it waits, patient, like an animal that remembers a path. I tried to name it. Fear, loss, the house. Words only made it quieter for a moment. I set up a recorder to prove to myself that sound had boundaries. At 3:17, nothing registered on the tape, but the hush my own voice made when I listened. People suggested routines, small lights, noise, a life that filled rooms. It learned my patterns. It learned when my thoughts faltered and moved closer. One night, I stopped fighting it. I breathed with it, slow, until the edges blurred. Now when night comes, I don't check the time. I listen. And sometimes, it listens back. There are nights when memory isn't a memory. It's a presence that takes shape around the small things. A lamp left on, a kettle boiling, the safe clack of keys. These were my talismans. They slowed it, sometimes pushed it back like wind against a door. But every defense taught it my rhythms. It learned to wait until I thought I was safe. Once, in the attic light, I felt its attention like a hand along my spine. I laughed, quietly, to prove I wasn't afraid. The laugh stuck in my throat. The sound wasn't mine anymore. It doesn't always come as breathing. Sometimes it's a pause between two notes, a missing footstep. And when it does come, you learn to answer, slowly, with its rhythm, so it knows you remain. Answering doesn't mean you win. It means you acknowledge its existence and keep your small, stubborn life. Some days the breathing becomes a backbeat to ordinary routines. I go to the corner shop, life keeps happening around it.
We all hear it sometimes.
You learn to live around it. You plan your days like a map, where the breathing is a landmark. Sometimes I pretend it's just the house settling. Other times I know it's not. In the end, it's a rhythm I'm forced to keep time with. And tonight, as always, I breathe with it. Morning arrives like an invitation and a threat. Light makes shapes obvious, but it doesn't erase what waits. I count the cars that pass like small proofs of continuity. Sometimes a person will stop and ask if I'm all right. I say I'm fine. I don't mention the breathing. Some things are private, even from yourself.